Hi guys, Love Book Triangle Lindsey here, and this is going to be my June wrap-up. Now, I set out to read a lot of certain books in June. I didn't get to them, but I did get to a lot of other books. I started out really great the first couple weeks of June because I just ended school. I had a couple weeks off to myself. I mean, I still was doing stuff, but I had more time than normal to read and listen to audiobooks. And then I just finished the first week of teaching summer school, and when I made sure my plans were all set and going back to work, it didn't give me as much time to read, but I did pretty good for myself. I got to a total of 7 books and audiobooks combined, so let's get into it. Now, some of these books I already put away. I'm going to Book Bonanza this summer, and yes, I did already start packing some of the books up, making sure they're all set and ready to go, so I don't have all of them out here with me. But one thing that I did get to finally this June was the rest of the Lunar Chronicle series. Now, not the novellas, but the main books. I started reading it back in 2015, and I finally got to the other 3. So I started listening to the audiobook of Scarlet, and then I had to return it, so I finished the rest of the book. And I do actually have this one signed. You can see in my Marissa Meyer Comes to Milwaukee video, and someone was asking me if Scarlet was my favorite character, not knowing I hadn't read it yet just because the red hair. And actually, after reading the whole series, Scarlet was my probably least favorite girl character. She started off pretty strong in this book. Her grandma's missing and she's fighting to find her, and I really like that, but as the series goes on, I think she gets to be a little mean and she doesn't care about that, so that's why she's not my favorite character. But the book itself is still really good. We get introduced to Thorn, who is one of my favorite characters in the series. If you don't know the Lunar Chronicle series, it kind of has a different spin on the different fairy tales. Like, the first book is called Cinderella Scarlet, and you get to meet Wolf, Little Red Riding Hood, and then the next 2 books, there's Cress, Rapunzel with long hair, and Winter, little Snow White. So, little spin on that, but there is this evil queen on Luna, Queen Lavanna, and she wants to just take over Earth, and the Lunars on Luna, they have the special ability to control people through the mind, and that is very scary. There is a missing princess that people believe to be dead, but she actually comes up, and then there's this big fight for the throne. So that's just a very little overview, but Scarlet, I believe I gave 4 out of 5 stars. Then I listened to Cress. This is probably my favorite book of the series. I believe I gave it a 4.5 out of 5 stars. The reason for not giving it a full 5 is because the book is called Cress, and in the beginning I don't feel like Cress got her fair share in the story, and for it being called Cress, I just wanted more of her because I was really enjoying learning about her. But then as the story goes on, you do get more of her, so it's like that little hiccup in the beginning. But I really like this. They introduce this character and Jason, and you just continue with the story of the mystery. Everyone is kind of spread out in this book doing different things, so it's interesting to see what they're all doing and when they come together. Then I listened to Winter. This wasn't my favorite book of the series, especially for the wrap-up. I feel like there was a lot of back and forth of I'm captured, now I'm free, I'm captured, now I'm free, and I didn't like that. There was a lot of action going on, which is nice. I still gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. I really still enjoyed this series. I just didn't want all that back and forth. Like, this is a really big book. I listened to audiobook. Yeah, does it go over 800 pages? Yeah, so I just feel like the longness wasn't as necessary, but I really love this series. I'm finally glad I got to it. I'm excited to read Stars Above and Ferris, and then go into the Wires and Nerve spin-off. Then I read the ebook Meet Cute from my library by Helena Hunting. It is about these two lawyers, and the girl lawyer, she is doing something for this family, and the parents end up dying, and she becomes like not a legal guardian, but someone who watches out for the girl. She's 13, and now her brother is the other lawyer, and he's now trying to do his best of raising his sister because of his parents' death. And these two lawyers are actually big rivals in college, and something happened back then, so it's about working out their feelings of that and trying to be professional and do their jobs for the situation at hand. I thought it was a very cute story, and I think you should give it a try. I read The Great Pursuit by Wendy Higgins. It's the second and last book of the series. The Great Hunt is the first book. In the first book, there's this monster that's taking over the kingdom, and Arity agrees to put her hand up for marriage to the winner who can kill the beast. And this story, there is still a problem. There's this evil witch causing havoc in the lands, and she really connected with this one character in the first book, and she leaves the kingdom for a while to try to find him and talk to him, and all this stuff goes on when she is away. And I didn't enjoy it as much as the first book. There is some good action. I believe I still might have gave it a 4 out of 5 stars, but I did like the first one better, but it was a good duology. Then I read Say You Want Me by Corinne Michaels. It's the second book in her Return to Me series. This book follows the second Hennington, well, not the second Hennington brother, it's the second one we get, but the youngest Hennington brother, Wyatt, and Angie. Angie was the sister-in-law in the first book, and she had come down to visit her friend. She ends up sleeping with Wyatt, and months later she's just sick. She doesn't like going to the doctor, but she finally does, and she finds out she's pregnant. So she goes down for a couple months to live with Wyatt so they could see if there is an actual relationship there, because they didn't have one. They just slept together, but now they're having a baby together. And I think Wyatt is a really great guy. He's someone that you would want to be in a relationship with, and they're just going through all the different trials of a new relationship, but also of, oh, she's pregnant, she's having a baby together. My friend had warned me, if I thought the first book was sad, that the next two, Corinne's going to pull out your heartstrings even more. So I kind of felt something coming in this book, and of course I did have the tears as well, but I really did enjoy this book, and I'm excited to see where the third one goes. And lastly, I read Dear Bridget, I Want You by Penelope Ward and by Keeland. I had won this book, and I'm excited because when I won it from Penelope, and I got it signed, and I'm going to bring it to Book Bonanza and hopefully get it signed by Vi. It is a cute story. There is this mom, Bridget, who goes to the doctor because she has a fish hook stuck in a place after going fishing with her son. She is a single mother because her husband had died in a car crash, and she is a nurse. This doctor, Simon, I believe, sorry, I'm having a really bad time with names during this video, which I usually have a lot better time remembering names, so I don't know, I'm just having some brain memory issues right now. But I don't like how they meet, because I think, like any other situation, if it happened with a doctor and a patient, it would be like a means for a lawsuit. So I don't like that little part there. And there's something else in the story that I feel like was taken away from the couple, that they should have been given this moment after everything that happens, and that's why I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. But going back, they end up meeting again. Her friend says, oh, there's this doctor who's finishing up his residency and he doesn't want to sign a full lease. Since you're looking to make some money and rent out the side house that you have, could he stay there? And it ends up being Simon the doctor, and he is like a playboy, but he just steps up when it comes to her son, and he helps her so much with things that are going on. There's a big twist that happens in the story that is sad how things unfolded that way, but it is a really cute story, and I'm glad to have won it, to be able to have read it. So there you have it. There is my June wrap up. Let me know down below what you guys read this month and some of your favorites or not so favorites. Till next time, guys. Bye.